Hello everybody, всем привет. Today I'm going to be working on getting the Mage Guild working in the castle. So I've previously been able to build structures in the castle. I have the Mage Guild appear, but if you click on it, you're not able to bring up this screen. So this screen this is just a screen capture I took of the original game. The Mage Guild uses this stone back. There's a base frame stone back in the AGG file. It uses this same exit button and this same info bar as the build screen, which I guess I can pull up an example here to show you what that looks like. So if I go to the build screen here, there's this info bar here, there's exit here, and then there's this stone back image that's 640 by 262 pixels that overlays over the rest of this castle screen and then displays these images for building the structures. But basically, I got to this point where I could build the Mage Guild, but you click on this and nothing happens. And so we're gonna fix that right now. Now our heroes are spawning with okay, that one isn't, but okay. Well, they were spawning earlier with spellbooks. That might have changed, especially if it's a sorceress and a warlock. I did have that logic working at one point, so we'll dig into that too. I guess that's another bug to find, but anyway, how the Mage Guild screen works is this displays, in this case, this is a level 1 Mage Guild, and it will update the structure as you build the Mage Guild further. When you purchase spells at the Mage Guild, it unlocks these spells. I have predetermined the spells for each castle. I pre-roll them when I initialize the game state. And then they're just revealed to the player as they purchase levels of the Mage Guild. In this case, 3 spells are taught to the hero. The hero copies those spells into their spellbook. Later versions of the game, I think probably starting in Heroes 2, it became spell points. But in Heroes 1, it was just your knowledge was how many times you could cast this spell. And so if you had a knowledge of 1, you would get 1 cast of each of these spells. If you have a knowledge of 3 and you're a sorceress, you would be able to cast each of these spells 3 times. So that's how it worked. It's really powerful and dangerous when you have a very high knowledge and a high spell power, and you have like Armageddon or Storm or Meteor Shower or Lightning Bolt or basically any of the direct damage spells, because the spell points are sort of overpowered at higher levels. But I have a list of spells here that I compiled from online, and I think most of it is correct. There's 7 level 1 spells, 8 level 2 spells, 9 level 3 spells, and 5 level 4 spells. And I basically just do a choose without replacement to select the random spells that are available. And I also built a table here, which I'll get into in a second. Let me get into the prompting that I did. So I always start off with this rebuilding the game engine for Heroes of Might and Magic 1 from 1995. I built the castle screen and I explained how the castle screen works. And now I want to enable a screen for the Mage Guild to display the spells in the Mage Guild and teach them to the hero visiting the castle if the hero has the spellbook. If the hero does not have a spellbook, the Barbarians and Knights do not start with a spellbook and need to buy one. They are presented with a buy spellbook screen where they can buy a spellbook for 500 gold. That screen, the buy spellbook PNG, which I said was attached, but I didn't attach it. Oops, let me see if I can pull that up quick. It is here and in example images and buy spellbook. It's this. So this is the screen you get when you need to buy a spellbook. So anyway, I highlighted that, And OK presents as depressed and non-clickable if the kingdom treasury has less than 500 gold. So cancel is the only clickable option. So again, this button is sort of a darker color, like I guess this sort of brownish color that's in the shadow of this. This gets darkened out, and you're not able to purchase the spellbook if you don't have enough money. The hero can only buy the spellbook if the hero has an available slot for a spellbook. Each hero can have up to 14 artifacts. If they do not have a free artifact slot, then the OK should be marked depressed, and they should not be able to buy a spellbook until they give away some artifacts to their hero. I need to test this in the original game, and it's pretty rare that I would get up to 14 artifacts, but I probably need to play a long play and test this out and make sure that I can't buy a spellbook when I have 15 or when I have 14 artifacts, and just verify that that is grayed out. I'm pretty sure that's the correct behavior, but you got to test everything and make sure. It could be that you could buy a spellbook and it replaces the artifact in your first slot, which I doubt is the case, but it, you know, that could be how the original game behaves. I don't know. We have to test it. So if the user clicks OK, 500 gold deducted from the kingdom treasury. The spellbook is added to the artifact inventory in the next available slot. So if you had some artifacts, it would be added after the existing artifacts you had. And then anyway, once you buy that and it's added to your inventory, the Mage Guild screen opens. If the hero already has a spellbook or previously bought one or spawned with one, the Sorceress and the Warlock each spawn with one. They enter the Mage Guild screen by clicking on the Mage Guild structure. The height and XY offset are in the clickable area that causes it to open. Mage Guild screen is a subscreen of the castle screen, similar to the building screen. I then highlight, you know, again, the Stoneback BMP from the hero's AGG route, which I can actually pull that up for you probably here, just so you can see it. See, it's down here. It's just this background. That's all. But this brings up the Mage Guild screen showing the sprite of the Mage Guild structure, which can vary between structures 1 through 4, depending on how the Mage Guild is built. And we can look at, you know, basically it's a combination of these different pieces, you know, in the Mage Guild sprites. And so we have this structure here where we have the Mage Guild sprite, and then this is a little narrow, so let's widen it out so we can see it. So I give it sort of a visual layout of the cells, and I give it the screenshot here that I've attached, and then I explain that the level 2, level 3, level 4 spells are only shown if that level of Mage Guild is built. If the spell's not shown, it's hidden. And so these are hidden spells and they're not taught to you, and these are the current level of spells that are taught to you. The hidden spell is displayed as this Town Wind icon 001, which let's pull that up. So these are in these town window. So it's 0 is basically the available spell, and this is the unavailable spell. So these are both of the icons from Town Wind. And then if the spell is visible, it's displayed as the spell.icn number 0 to 28 on top of the Town Wind icon 00. Now, what is that spell? Like, this is the spell icon. So we have like Fireball, Lightning Bolt, Teleport, Cure, Resurrect, Haste, Slow, Blind, Bless, Protection, Curse, Turn Undead, Anti-Magic, Dispel Magic, Berserker, Armageddon, Storm. Let's see, that was Meteor Shower. This is Paralyze, View Mines, View Resources, View Artifacts, View Towns, View Heroes, View, I think that's View All. and identify hero, summon boat, dimension door, town gate, and then this is the like can't cast this spell cursor, just randomly included in there. Maybe you're not allowed to cast the spell, like you can't target this creature. I forget exactly what the cursor is for this. It could also be that when you're trying to cast Dimension Door, this is like a non teleportable tile. Like you're not allowed to teleport onto that tile. So that's kind of the not casting the magic cursor. But anyway, I came up with that and I created this spell info table. So I indexed the spells 0 through 28. I arranged them in spell level order, just based on this original document that I had created. That was just a summary of this. I just numbered the spells that way. So, but then I had to convert these to the icon index in the spell ICN. So that was the main reason I created this table. I also added in a description because probably in the game you can right click on stuff and get a terse description of what the spell does. And then I also classified it as adventure or combat spell, because that's going to be important later for a filter we're going to apply in the spell book, and also whether or not it's allowed to be cast from the adventure screen or the combat screen. So anyway, the selection of these spells are selected based on, like the first 3 are selected, 3 chosen without replacement from these first 7 spells. Then the next 2 spells you get in your Mage Guild are selected, 2 without replacement from this level of spells, and same, so on and so forth, going down the list. And when a hero's in the castle, the hero learns the spells. That means the spells that are displayed are copied to their spell book, and they acquire a number of castings, a cast count of that spell. Cast count is set to the value of the knowledge stat of the hero at the time the spells are copied into their spell book. The hero has 0 castings left of that spell. It is as if they don't know the spell. So a hero with a spell book essentially has all 29 spells, but a casting ability of 0. And those are not shown in their spell book. Only spells with a cast count of 1 or more are shown in the hero's spell book. Each open spell is 140 pixels by 77 pixels. They are arranged as follows. And then I go through sort of some boring XY offset layout logic, but it's boring, but it's important. And I'm explaining the center of the offsets. I'm explaining that the Mage Guild structure, how that is located, and how it's where the base of the Mage Guild is. And what I actually did for this, this was kind of neat. I should definitely show you this. I came up with a rasterizer because with some of these I was trying to figure out like approximate pixel layouts. And so I just wrote a Python script to overlay every 20 pixels on this. And since I run the game in DOSBox at double resolution, these actually correspond to 10 pixels a piece, but I did 20 pixels on the rasterizer, and this is a double resolution upscaled image. So each box corresponds to 10 pixels, but then this let me basically compute how many, what the approximate center was, seeing that the Mage Guild here was centered at about 70 pixels. This is at like, I think it was 240, 400, and 560. So this is 240, 400, and 560. So it just allowed me to much more quickly specify what the pixel offsets were. Just running that, I just dump an image in there, run the script, it generates a rasterized version where I can just much more quickly process the offsets and get a feel for it, rather than estimating and getting something close. I can get it much, much closer to the point where I'm off by 1 or 2 pixels, which lets me just move faster because I'm just like to go fast. So I highlight between the closed spells, there's about 100 pixels. Open spells, there's 20 pixels. When a spell is open, it displays the spell icon and the spell name below it, both centered on the open spell box, which would also be centered at X offsets 240, 400, and 560. So I just like to restate things occasionally for the AI because that just makes it more likely that it doesn't miss that information and make a mistake. So it's great to repeat yourself, especially with things like a specification. I've attached a list of spell names and spell icons, and that was this spell info CSV here, where I had all that info. And here's the header of that. And you can look up the spell index number from the spells located or allocated to the castle. At the game initialization, the spells in the Mage Guild are predetermined. This is the example of those spells that are selected, that are basically like pre-rolled, and the spells that will appear in the Mage Guild if you build those levels in the castle. In the order of the data structure, they're to be extracted monotonically increasing spell level. So the first 3 levels, the first 3 values are level 1, the next 2 are level 2, next 2 are level 3, the next 2 are level 4. And then I highlight this as clearly as I can to the AI. And then the values of the spells are looked up by their index number, but displayed as the spell ICN index number, which is not the spell index number. And then spell the name underneath it. And both the text and the sprite are centered. And I say that again, I repeat myself. And then I just copy my same prompt from before with the build screen. The info bar and exit are the same. So we submitted that prompt, ran through it. It creates this Mage Guild screen.h, Mage Guild screen.cpp, and how to integrate it into game main CPP. I got a bunch of errors, and it basically did some cyclical logic with some declarations. So I spent a while, I looked over this, I did the integration and just said, hey, can you check and make sure I integrated all the steps correctly? And it gave me a couple of bugs, a couple of spots where I didn't get it quite right. Because the integration guide is just like, oh, just paste this in this one spot, and it's like, if you don't fully understand where that spot is, and there's like 3 touch points, because there's a click catching logic, there's a rendering logic, and then there's like some sort of game processing logic too. So there's usually 3 touch points to integrate a screen like this, and usually 2 of them are no problem, and then the third one, it doesn't give you any guidelines of codes. It's just like, oh, just put it in this spot, and it's not really clear where that spot is. So I do it where I think it is, but then I just ask the AI, hey, did I do this right? And it quickly tells me what's working and what isn't. So fix some bugs for me before I even got it to test. And then it said, okay, I fixed all this stuff, but it didn't actually give me a file. So I was like, hey, can you do that and give me the file? Then I get a linker error, and I struggled a little bit with this. I actually burned quite a bit of time going through this, because it had a class and a struct in the signature that were being declared somewhere else. I think this was in the event system. And so anyway, it was a pretty subtle bug, but I did figure it out eventually. And now I have it's compiling and sort of working. So let's take a look at what that is. I have this build saved as Mage Guild Hello World. So we got a Barbarian, we got a Mage Guild, we built the Mage Guild, we clicked on it, and what? Okay, well, first of all, this is strange. Like, Mage Guild is now fully built as level 1. So that is a bug. It also says Mage Guild, not Mage Guild level 1. So the build screen actually has a bug here. So we figured we found that out. Trying to click on the Mage Guild here, and I'm either getting the okay, there we actually were able to get the hitbox, and you can sort of see this. It says like buy spellbook something something, so it's kind of working, but I can't click OK here. I can escape out of it, but if I click here, I get the castle screen. So the castle hitbox is stealing it from the Mage Guild. And if I click on the bottom of the Mage Guild, I get the orc screen. And if I click somewhere in the middle, I'm still getting the castle. And then, so the hitbox is smaller than it should be. And these are not clickable. So that's the bug we're running into right now, at least to the first version. So I said it's compiling and sort of working. The spell name, oh. So hold on. So that let's actually test one more thing, because that was a barbarian that needed to buy the book. So let's see what happens when we have a hero that spawns with a spell book. So first of all, the castle hitbox is still an issue, but there we got it. So the Mage Guild looks correct. These icons are rendering, and I was like, I don't see the text initially, but then I realized, oh, I do see it. This says bless. It's just too low. View resources, dispel magic. And then these, for some reason, the game loves to, or not the game, the AI loves to stretch sprites. And so these sprites are being stretched. Now I'm wise to it, but initially when I was doing this on the map, like some of these sprites would be stretched for some reason. These creature sprites, these different object sprites on the map were stretched, and I had to realize that was the AI forcing that and doing something that I didn't think was correct. But here again, let me see if I can get back in here. The click box is tricky. Then yeah, so these are being stretched. So we need these images to be smaller. But you know, it's working. This is saying the above spells have been added to your book. That's the correct logic there. So the spell name needs to be moved up about 10 pixels. Yep. Closed levels of the scrolls seem like they're being stretched. I want them displayed at regular size, their original size in Townwind ICN 001 in the spec. Again, going back here, this is the non-stretched look of that icon. Now on the build screen, when I build Mage Guild level 1, it marks it as a checkbox. We need to update that to show Mage Guild level 2, and if that's built, Mage Guild level 3 and Mage Guild level 4 as purchase options in its place. The check mark is only to be used for Mage Guild level 4, which is the highest level. Otherwise, Mage Guild level 1, 2, or 3 is purchased. The purchase of the next Mage Guild level is to be displayed. And the title should be Mage Guild level 1, Mage Guild level 2. So basically, I didn't have the Mage Guild levels correctly. You know, I can't build level 2, for example. That's the weird bug of this Hello World Mage Guild. So I gave it the resource requirements of what was required. I don't remember what this 1 is at the end, but oh, that was the building ICN images. Okay. But on the hero screen CPP, the spellbook has disappeared from the hero artifacts display. It used to be there. We need to check if we are adding some code like this to the initial game state map CPP to make sure the spellbook is being given to the hero. And 2, if they get one, it is displayed in their artifact slots on the hero screen. This may have changed when we remove the artifacts ICN to resources CPP. Maybe we need to move them back because they are displayed there. So I had previously refactored all of the images because there was a bunch of duplicate loading of images. The AI was just like, oh, you need these images, let me load them, instead of loading everything in resources. And so I think that I had it working before that refactor, but after that, it stopped displaying the artifact images. So that was, again, with the problem with AI coding is you get this comprehension debt. You forget that you did a change and you expect it to be there, and then the AI does something and doesn't really tell you that it changed it. And I mean, you would find out if you went and looked at the code and were paying attention. And frequently I do, but sometimes you don't notice it, and then it's 3 or 4 commits later, and you're like, oh, whoops, yeah, I forgot what happened. Oh, that must have changed back when we refactored the images. So that's what happened here. I have this logic that was generating the spellbook for the warlock and the sorceress, and I also took the code. I went back and looked at my old commits about how I was displaying the artifacts in the hero screen, and that had just been removed. So I wanted to put that back in. So I said it's okay to use these large artifact images in hero screen and the ICN. And after thinking about this some more, I actually don't think it is, because we do use the artifacts on like when you pick up an artifact in an event in the world screen, or you get an artifact from the graveyard or the shipwreck or the demon cave or whatever, whatever other places you can get artifacts. I think it sometimes displays that larger artifact image. So I have to verify that, but for now it's just in the hero screen. So it says, oh, artifacts is uninitialized garbage. Well, that's not actually true, but we'll go with it for now. It's just an empty data structure. And so the game is thinking it's reading whatever's in memory at that address. And like, I guess technically that could be some value, but it's, the game wants it initialized to 0xFF hex values. So we initialize those, we add in the artifacts array to display there, and we load artifact ICN and draw artifact rows 2 and 3. And actually the artifact rows are, there's actually only 2 artifact rows. So this is kind of indicative of like something funny is happening. We fix the spell name position and the hidden scroll natural size, and we work on the Mage Guild multi-level build logic. So it does all these changes, and in the castle screen, we're working on the shared Mage Guild structure. Gives me all these different files. I get some work through a couple errors, definitely broke a lot of things with some namespace issues. And it's giving me this hack of like, just include the Mage Guild screen, it's fine. And I'm like, is that a good practice? It's like, no, no, it's not. So we argue some more back and forth. I already had this castle struct. It says you're right to call that out. So finally, this starts to compile, and let's have a look at what the next build was. So first of all, the artifact screen has been replaced by all of these random pictures, which if you didn't have a hero in the, it's basically this random empty garrison or empty hero picture. It's treating these as creature slots, which is not, like, that's not correct, yeah? Now this says Mage Guild level 1. That is good. We click on the castle. It still says Mage Guild level 1. Shows that we can't build anymore. So that's it's not showing the next level of Mage Guild. We are still not able to buy the spellbook. And let's advance the day and see if we're able to build the next level of Mage Guild. See what happens. So we are able to build the next level of Mage Guild, and it is taking the correct number of resources. And it still says Mage Guild level 1 and still shows these resources. So it's sort of stuck in Mage Guild level 1 land. I want to see if we can get a, since we can't buy the spellbook still, let's have a look at the Sorceress. What happens to her? Good old Natasha the Sorceress here. So this looks better. This is up a little better. We still need to move this up, and I think I want to move the spells down a little bit. But let's build some more levels of Mage Guild for Natasha. And you know, we still have this. We still have the issue with the hero screen. But let's see what happens in the Mage Guild here, if we can actually click on it without triggering that. So we got our level 2 spells, so they're looking okay. It's not quite spaced perfectly. I would like a little more of a gap between these displayed spells, but it's not bad. It's not the end of the world. And let's build Mage Guild level 3, even though it says Mage Guild level 1 and isn't displaying that. We gotta test it thoroughly. We got Storm and View Towns. Well, Storm is a great spell. View Towns, not so much. And we'll build our 4th level of Mage Guild and have a look. We got Meteor Shower and Town Gate. So I call out a couple of things. This is good progress. I'm able to build Mage Guild levels 1 through 4. They take the right amount of resources, but the display text always says Mage Guild level 1 and always shows the resource cost of Mage Guild level 1. But when purchased, the correct building appears and the correct amount of resources are charged. So this is really just a display issue in the build screen. Also, the hero screen CPP is showing the empty strip for creatures where the empty artifact slots are. So changing the values to 0xFF initially is being interpreted as empty creature slots over the artifacts. Can we review that logic? See the attached picture, which is showing the bug that we are experiencing. And I forgot to pull that up with, if we just look here, see she is getting the spell book now. That artifact is being displayed, so we had fixed that correctly, but it's also displaying this 0xFF as an empty creature slot over the artifact. So it found this bug where there's a 2 argument overload, which always returns Mage Guild level 1, so it has to basically query the Mage Guild. It has to add an additional argument and query the Mage Guild level. And then here, the hero screen assumes it shouldn't be anything, because if we actually look at the hero screen, which is actually up here, there's nothing you see in the hero screen icons. But if you actually look down here in, I think it's this one, hero screen here, these empty artifact slots are actually populated in the back with this this rook chess piece. It's interesting that artifacts are treated as rooks and creatures are treated as knights, and players are treated as like a queen, or I guess a queen character. So there are some elements of chess, also with the easy, medium, hard, impossible settings. There's just some nice little chess references included in the game. But anyway, it makes a good shot at fixing these. I get a few compiler errors, probably something stupid. It doesn't make the changes. It just tells me, oh, just fix this. And I'm like, nah, just make the changes, make me a clean file. So it did this, added a few nice, this is more than just like this couple line change, to fix this. So it did it. I compiled. There's an improvement to the dialog screen. So let's see what that looked like. Oh, okay. Actually, I didn't save this build, but there was improvement that the dialog screen is now showing these resources, but they're not showing in the box. So we need this to actually display correctly in the box. We need that overflow to 2 lines. See the attached image. And then in the castle options build structures view, after Mage Guild 1 is built, the name of the build button to build Mage Guild level 2 should now read Mage Guild level 2 instead of Mage Guild level 1. We need to update that build screen text for the Mage Guild as well, not just the dialogue. We're very close. We can do this. So, so this is actually updated here. Like, see, I'm about to click on Mage Guild level 4, but you see here it says Mage Guild level 1. So that's a visualization of that bug. So it fixes the get structure definition slot needs to be overloaded with the new text, and this resource layout needs to have a single row overflows for the Mage Guild resources. So made those changes. I'm getting another linker error. And then it did something where it started saying, oh, I don't see the code in your source folder is the old version. And it's like, that's always a facepalm moment where like the AI just decides to not use the latest files that you've given it. So, so I ask it for the latest files, and then I say, here's the latest version I have. Please use these as the base, and then fix the 3-part signature issue and other issues you spotted, and double check. So it does all of this work, highlights all the changes we made, fixing the tooltip as well, because I have the tooltip. I also selected the tooltip on the build screen should show the correct Mage Guild level, as well as show the resources that you need to build it. And okay, I gave it this image. I don't know why, because that's not. Maybe I highlighted the tooltip as overflowing the resources as well. So here I wanted to just move the spell icons up another 4 pixels, or move them down 4 pixels and move the text up 3 pixels, just inside. And so it made the overflow work. And then I want to work on the buy spellbook dialog, because that's not working. It might be that it's not the highest layer of the render stack, and it's not capturing all input. So basically I was highlighting that I'm still not able to click on this and buy the spellbook. Text needs to move down, and then it also needs to load artifact.icn0025 to show the image. I think that loaded in hero screen, and we should move it to resources because it's used there in the castle screen. And it may also be used in overland events, like when you get an artifact from the graveyard, the shipwreck, or the Daemon Cave. And then part of the Mage Guild click box overlaps to the castle should go to the Mage Guild, not the castle. So I guess we should render the Mage Guild click box and click check over the castle for the parts that overlap. So I paused and I realized I forgot to give it the hero screen. So I give it the hero screen and then start it over again. It makes the changes. It moves the artifacts to resources. Changes the reference in hero screen to reference that artifact, and the Mage Guild screen now shows the spellbook image when it displays that dialogue for buying the spellbook, and it takes the artifact texture from resources and fixes the text layout somewhat, and we'll see if that worked. So the Mage Guild click detection is much better. The dialog box is also showing the spellbook. That looks nice, but the last bug is just click to buy spellbook is just not clickable somehow. The dialog box is not registering clicks from the OK or cancel. Can we learn from recruit CPP, which has a successful OK cancel dialog for recruitment? Can you compare and just look for what might be causing the bug? So it looks at the logic. There's some weird coordinates, but there's no input consumption. And the it also corrects the button textures. Instead of yes, no, it should be OK cancel. So it goes through, fixes these, and I was pretty happy with that. So then I asked for some documentation. So let's view what the final Mage Guild build looks like here. So we've got our guy Hector here, and it's not perfectly centered, but it's pretty good. Definitely much closer. Hector bought the spellbook, and now he learned these spells. And let's go look at Hector's got a spellbook. We can't open the spellbook yet. I haven't implemented the spellbook screen, but I will. But he's got the spellbook, and trust me, he's got these spells inside it. So one thing that's also kind of cool about the original heroes, so notice we have Mage Guild level 2. We have the correct resources here. We're able to see these, add them, and we can now do a tooltip to see, even though we can't build Mage Guild level 3 because we just built the structure this day, we can see with the tooltip how much it's going to cost us. So let's do another day cycle. But one of the cool things about Heroes of Might and Magic is, or at least the original one, is that you didn't need wisdom. So Hector could learn level 3 spells despite being a knight with 1 knowledge. You know, that it's you know, some people might argue that's a little bit broken, that these heroes can okay, we got Armageddon and Earshot. This is a good Mage Guild. You know, these aren't the most useful spells, but this is pretty powerful. Good deal. And you'll notice that now the Mage Guild is built correctly, and we're displaying the checkbox there. So so I'm pretty pleased about that. And so I wrote some documentation, made some updates. That's kind of boring. And then I noticed later on, I came back a little later, so the info bar text should be suppressed when with no hero present. So it doesn't claim spells were added to the book when no hero is at the castle. So can we make the minor change to display in the Mage Guild screen? The above spells are available here, which is what needs to display when there's no hero in the castle. So let's build ourselves a Mage Guild. The above spells have been added to your book. Okay, great. Well, let's leave the castle. Let's go back and let's see. The above spells have been added to your book. So that's what we're working on fixing, right? And the let's see, the known to-dos. Yep. So we made a simple change here to the Mage Guild screen. And the only difference is that info bar text change that we just made. So I'm going to pull up the latest build where this is the case. And let's build ourselves a Mage Guild. Buy ourselves a spellbook. Exit. Take Craghack out of there. He's got a spellbook. And the above spells are available here. So that is now fixed and working. So that is the Mage Guild that we have added. That was a bit of a process, but you know, not too bad overall.